Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, MCC Designs. My name is Marissa and this is episode 4 of the Half Double Purl podcast. Today I have a ton of whips to show you and things that I've started since last saw you and just a bunch of different variety of projects because I've been kind of all over the place recently. Not finishing a whole lot but making a lot of progress on things that I've been wanting to make for a little while. You'll see a few things that are returning, but I think mostly new stuff. So here we go. To start with, I have an update on my colorwork sweater. But if you've been watching the other episodes, you have seen this before. So I won't go too much into detail about it. But here it is. Here she is. She has one full sleeve and almost another full sleeve. I just have a couple more rows to go and then the cuff. And then I also have to sew down the collar because I'm doing a double thick collar. But yes, I'm so close to this. I honestly don't know why I haven't finished it. I feel like it has gotten to the point where there's so little left to finish that I am procrastinating it more than when there was a lot left. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that is what's happening. The yarn that I am using for this, I used some Sorella tonals for the color work section of that. And then for the main body, I've been using Swish from Knit Picks, and we crochet in the color Nutmeg Heather. I absolutely love this yarn. It's been really fun to work with, and it's super, super soft, and it's very comparable to the texture of hand-dyed yarn, so I feel very comfortable holding it with it, and there's not like a ton of tension changing because of the yarns or anything like that. So I've really liked using this, and I would definitely make more sweaters in the Swish because it's just really nice and the value you get is really good. They come in 50-gram balls and I think they're around $5 or $6, but it's 100% superwash merino wool, and I think it's really good quality yarn. But yes, this is my first sweater of the episode, and I will put, as usual, the name and everything somewhere on the screen. So that is the first project that I've been working on. The second project is also a sweater, and it is using some of the yarn that I posted a haul of a couple weeks ago from Wool Warehouse. And this is a crochet cardigan. Let me see, it's kind of tangled up here. So here is the body so far. You can see that. So this is crochet, and it looks very not crochet in my opinion. It looks super flowy and airy and drapey, and just has created such an amazing fabric. And this is a button-up cardigan. So it'll have a full button band, a big collar and everything, so it's just kind of loose now. I've done the full back panel, and then 2 front panels, and I've started the sleeve. And I'll post a picture of the pattern. I found it through an Instagram reel, and it is a free pattern, and it's an excellent pattern as well. And I've just modified the sleeves a little bit because the way that the original pattern is written, the stripes, like this ribbing, I guess, not the stripes, are going the opposite direction of the body, and I just kind of wanted to have the same. So to do that, I'm just doing a flat panel, but I attached it, and then I'm going to continue this seam all the way down the arm on the top, if that makes sense, and then do a cuff at the bottom. But it's really nice. I really like the look of it so far. It fits really well, and it just uses a really large hook and fine yarn. So the yarn that I am using for this is, let's see, Flora yarn from Drops in the color light gray, I believe. It's not written on the ball, it's color 03. And then I'm holding that with this brushed alpaca from Drops, and they are the same color gray. A really soft, very neutral gray. And I'm really excited because I don't really have a cardigan like this, especially one that I've made. I think it'll look really nice and be a nice staple piece. And I've had a lot of fun searching for the buttons for this sweater, And I wanted to get some really unique buttons, but I didn't want to spend like a crazy amount because I know like nice buttons be pretty pricey depending on what material. I knew I wanted wood and something a little more unique and fun, I guess. So I have been thrifting specifically for buttons from like a sweater that I could salvage both the yarn and the buttons from a sweater at the thrift store. And so I was able to find one after a couple weeks of searching. So this is the sweater that I found, which it looks really cool from the front. It has these like really interesting cabling situation. And then the back is wide open, which is interesting, but the buttons on it are wooden and they have these little like ticks on them. So this whole sweater I got from Goodwill for $5 or a little under $5. And so I'm going to detach the buttons and then I'm going to unravel the sweater and reuse the yarn. And this is something I've done several times before, salvaging sweaters and reusing the yarn, and I really like this. Is a nice gray, it's a nice fiber. I believe it's acrylic, I don't think there's any wool in it. But I think it'll be really nice to salvage, and because I wouldn't wear something with an open back, but maybe I'll take the buttons off and sew up the back. I'm not sure, but I really like the buttons, and so I can use that for this sweater and then use this yarn for a different sweater, and I think that's really fun. And like I said, this was at the thrift, so I'm saving it from potentially being wasted in a landfill, which is always a good thing. So that's pretty cool. And that is all for that sweater. I'm hoping to be finished by next episode. This has like flown by. I like did almost this whole thing within like a week and just have like, put it down to work on a few other things. But I think like 1 or 2 more sittings and I could finish both sleeves, do the button bands. Now that I have the buttons, I definitely want to finish that now even more because I have the pieces needed to completely finish it. So let's see. Next up is a whip that is a project that I've been working on for just a little while, and it is a project using my favorite stitch, which is the granny square stitch, and some super fun bright speckly yarn from Ruby and Roses. So this is going to just be a pretty basic scarf of the like speckles, and I'm using I think it's plump sock base from Ruby and Roses, and it is in the color Sail Away. And she was generous enough to gift this to me a couple of months ago, and I got it as a sock set, and I was going to make socks with it, but then I just love how the little speckles look. I love them. I want to wear them in more than just socks. So I started this project, and I'm going to definitely need to order more of this yarn to finish up the scarf. But I'm really excited about it because all of my like big winter jackets are black, so I feel like this like around the top of it will look so cute, and I'm really excited to have like something fun for when it's really cold out. And yeah, super simple. And I'll be finished. I'll have like a pattern written up on my blog and everything, and that'll be available, and I'll probably make a tutorial for the granny like stripe stitch, which is one of my favorites. And also I am an affiliate with Ruby and Roses, so if you would like to try out any of her yarn, which she is coming out with a Taylor Swift collection in the next couple of weeks, I believe, you can use code MCC DESIGNZ and you'll get $5 off your first purchase. So feel free to use that if you want to, no pressure. If you don't want to use it, that's fine too. I really love Ruby and Roses. All her colors are so bright and super fun, so definitely recommend checking her out if you haven't seen her stuff before. So moving on to the next little basket of projects. I have gone live a couple times on TikTok in the last couple weeks since I have seen you, and I've just been working on some washcloths. So this is my pattern. It's called the Smooth Stone Washcloth because it just looks like little stones stacked. This is a free pattern on my blog as well, and I'll have it linked below. But I'm using Dishy cotton for it. Let's see. Here's Dishy in the color Swan and the color Butterscotch. So those two colors, and I love this pattern. And so I'm trying to like stock up on these washcloths so I can like throw them in gifts. Several friends that I know are moving right now, so it's perfect for like a little housewarming gift to give them like a washcloth, and or these can be used as dishcloths too, and like a little bit of soap, like a handmade soap or something. I think that's really cute. So I've been making those, and I'm going to do this color, and then I'm going to switch them and do the butterscotch color where the white is, and the white and butterscotch color. So that's been really fun to get back into making those. Again, that pattern is a free pattern, and soon to be a full tutorial here on YouTube as well. Next up is a project that I'm kind of on the fence over. So I have been wanting to do like a stash busting blanket, and a couple years ago I made this massive purple quilt out of African, it was an African flower. I don't think it's a granny square, but it's like a hexagon thing, and I'll pop a picture up here. And it used a ton of yarn up, and it's a really beautiful project, really, really nice quality quilt. And so I have put together a color palette for another one. So I am trying, this blue isn't really involved, it's just in this basket. I'm trying to pick 2 colors to pair with this white for the entire blanket, because in my original I did two purples and white. And so these are the 2 hexagons I have made so far, and they are the same colors, just the inverse of each other. But I don't know if I like the colors. I just can't decide, and they're showing up pretty true to color right here. I just can't decide if I like these colors enough for it to be a full blanket. So I might just scrap the orange and brown idea and go with completely different colors. But I have a lot of these colors in my stash from various other projects, so I thought it would be a good way to use those and really make something super, super nice, I guess. Super, super beautiful and just cozy and all that good stuff. So I can't really decide. So if you think these are good colors, so if you like these, let me know, because I like them, but I'm like on the fence if I like them together, because like the idea would be like this would be the center, and then this would be all around it, and there'd just be a lot of that happening. I'm not sure. I'm not sold. I don't know how well it's gonna match my like current bedding situation, I guess, because my bed is like a mustardy rose, like a mustardy gold color, and the walls in my house, as you can see, are like this. I rent it, so I can't paint it, but it's like a yellow as well. So I don't know if it like pairs well with that, but like, does that matter? I don't know. I'm very torn. But that is that project. And I think that's about all the projects I have. I brought one that I've like barely started, mostly to highlight the yarn, because I don't have any yarn to show you all, because I've been sticking to my yarn in and out thing that I have talked about briefly in a previous episode, where in order to get a new skein of yarn I have to use 5, so I'm doing like a 5-to-1 ratio. And currently I'm saving up for a sweaters quantity of some hand-dyed yarn from a new collection coming out from the Fuzzy Peach and from the Taylor Swift collection from Ruby and Roses. So I'll put the colors up that I'm thinking of getting right here, because I've been saving up for those. So I haven't acquired any new yarn since I last saw you, but this has been in my stash for a minute and I wanted to highlight it. And it is this beautiful ball of, what is it? Felicini, I think? I don't know. And the color is called Wagon Sofa, which is absolutely amazing. This is sock yarn, and it's meant to make some stripy socks. And I just love the color so much. I got it from We Crochet or Knit Picks. One of them. I think it's available on one and not available on the other. But I have started a little blanket, which I don't know why, I just have the itch to make a bunch of blankets. But I want to do like a color pooling experiment, because these are all the colors for it. And so I'm like playing around with, there's a color pooling website that you can use to kind of plug in how long your stitches are and all that kind of stuff, and it tells you like the pattern you can expect. So I'm playing around with that to see if I can do something cool. So far, it's proving quite difficult, and I am doing this as the granny stitch pattern as well, like the striped granny stitch, which granny stitch is just forever going to be my favorite thing ever, so I would literally make everything out of it always, but there's so many other things that I also want to make. Anyway, if you feel this strongly about a stitch, let me know. So that is that, and that is the last of my whips. I just have a few fun things to share. This is definitely a shorter episode than usual, but that's okay. So something that I got to make my sweater knitting easier is this spool of Barber Cord. It's like super bright pink, so it's kind of blowing out the camera, but it's the like tubing. Let's see if I can get some out here and show it to you. So it's like this, and it's like a tube, so you can just stick it to the end of needles, which most knitting shops and places sell it, but they sell like the tiniest amount for like ridiculously expensive prices. Like I've seen it for like $20. And so I went on Amazon and I found this massive spool. Like it goes all the way down in there, and this was like 10 bucks. And I literally have an almost endless supply of this Barber Cord now. And so I've been using it for a couple sweaters. So I've been using it for my sweater to be able to try it on, because it just connects to one cord. If you've not seen it, it connects to one needle tip to the other needle tip, and you can slide your stitches onto it without taking them off of your working needles. And then you can try it on without it coming off, and super great. So I will have a link down below from where I got this on Amazon, and I'll add it to like my favorites because it's super nice. It does have a weird smell when you first open it, like that really plasticky rubbery smell, but I would highly recommend buying this over like a tiny tin of like 2 cords that are like $18, because that's just crazy. Like as crafters, I feel like we already pay a ton for yarn and whatnot, so like save money where you can, and this is one of those ways. And then another thing that I have recently gotten, that I've gotten since the last episode, is this absolutely stunning mud first project bag. And it is a crossbody bag, and they were kind enough to gift this to me, which is incredible. And just to show you the inside of it, so it's 2-sided and square, and then inside it has 2 pockets to put whatever you need in, and space to put something out like yarn or anything. And then it has all these slots for crochet hooks, knitting needles, anything like that. And then so on the other side, which I've been using this as like my normal purse and just keeping like my wallet and keys in this side, and then I have yarn just with me on the go. So this has fit a sweater that I've shown in a previous episode, a ball of cotton yarn to work on some market bags, and then I just have my little crochet hook on this side, and I think that's lovely. I love it. So yeah, thank you Mud for this amazing gift. And last but not least, I have finished a very important book that, if you are familiar with any sort of fantasy writing, I'm sure you have seen this all over everything, and that is this book. It's Crescent City, House of Flame and Shadow. The dust jacket is not with it because I like to take them off while I'm reading, so it is somewhere, but this is my newest read. I got it. So it released on last Tuesday, and my physical copy wasn't going to be delivered until Wednesday, so I decided to get the Kindle version that Tuesday night at like midnight, and I read way too late into the night, and then all the next day and the next day, and I finished this book. It's like 800 some pages in like a handful of days, because it's just like, Sarah J. Maas is my favorite author, and I know a lot of people who haven't read her think she's overhyped, and it's just, she's grown so much. But I have read these books, or like her work, since I was in high school, so I've been reading her for like 10-ish years when her books were not very popular at all. Like I found the first copy of her of ACOTAR at like Sam's Club for like $6, old print. So like I've been in the trenches waiting and waiting and waiting for all the new books for years and years and years. And so I was so excited to read this, and I'm not gonna say any spoilers. So but I'm gonna say my reaction to it. So if you want to skip ahead, that's perfectly fine. Here we go. So at first when I finished it, I wasn't sure if I liked it. I was like, I don't know, maybe she's lost her touch. It didn't feel as put together as her other ones. It was super, super rushed. It happened, the events of the book happened really, really quickly, and it felt like it was constantly something was happening. Something. Now, like the whole time. And I feel like her usual writing style for this series in particular has been very slow pacing until kind of the end, but I felt like this one, you couldn't catch a break from some like a big piece of information being revealed, which was interesting when looking at her past stories in this setting. But after further reflection, I think that this is not a filler book, but a book that like information dumped for building on the next one. And a lot of the reason I think that I was a little like weird about finishing it, or like not knowing how I felt, is because I expected a bigger event to happen than it did, and then it didn't. And I'm trying not to say spoilers or anything for any of her writing, so it's a little cryptic, but if you know, you'll know. But then I have to remind myself what the book is titled, and that those characters were the ones that were focused on, if that makes any sense. I don't know. If you've read it, we can chat. Please DM me. I would love to chat about this book. But that is what I've been up to. I don't know what to read now. That always happens. I might start a Throne of Glass reread, but I don't know. But that's all I have for you today. So thank you so much if you made it through all of my ramblings about this book. And I will hopefully see you next time with more to share on those finished sweaters. Again, thank you so much for joining me, and you can find me on all social media platforms at MCC DESIGNZ. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what your favorite thing I shared today was. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!